Hey guys, and welcome back to the Curly Cooper channel. So today's video is going to be about how we purchased our first house in our 20s.
But before we get started with that, we just want to remind y'all to subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to get the latest videos.
Yeah, so getting into this video, I remember me and Curtis were dating and I was like, okay, I just graduated from high school and you were graduated what?
Yeah, I graduated what, like 2 years before that? And we were living, well, I was living with my mom, she was living with her mom, but I was at her house. I pretty much was living there and I would go home to go to sleep.
And he was also in the military, but only in the reserves.
Yeah, I was in the reserves. And this is when you were working.
I started working at the bank. I was a teller, guys.
Make $10 an hour.
Making $10. That was a lot back then.
And me, I had just got a promotion at the bank. I got hired on permanently, making like $10 or $11 an hour. So we was like balling.
Hold on, no. I wasn't working at the bank yet. I was working at TSIS. I was working in the call center, and I was a lead. Did have, pretty good jobs. And I was like, why are we still living at home?
Yeah, so it was, and what caused us to move, because I was fine with chilling at least, I was like, well, we'll save up some money. But I was getting ready to go on our first deployment, and Duana was like, look, when you get back, it's time to move out. There's no reason to be sitting in our parents' houses. We're grown. At some point, we need to move out. I think I'd started school, going, I think it was like maybe my first semester of college or one of my first few semesters. And we were doing that, but she's like, we don't need to be living at home. Said,
no,
we're staying here. I mean, we already graduated. Why are we living with our parents?
It just like clicked to me one day. It was because, it was no problem. We weren't doing anything we weren't supposed to be doing in the home. So our parents weren't like, y'all need to get up out of here. Y'all need to move out. It was more of like, I was just thinking,
it's time
I was calculating how much money I make. I said, I can afford to move out.
Yeah.
So I was looking at apartments. I mean, circling all kinds of apartments, trying to go here, there, and there.
Yeah, so we did a bunch of apartment shopping.
We did. We went looking at a bunch of apartments.
And we found this spot that Duana was in love with.
Oh, what?
Oh, yeah, right there close to, it was close to the hospital. It was like a little bitty apartment.
Oh, a furnished one?
Yeah, furnished fully. $500 a month. This thing was the size of about a bedroom.
It was not big at all, but I was so excited. I was like,
she's like, this is it. I like this one. I was like, no way.
I was kind of probably rushing. I was just ready to.
Oh, well, you saw it was nice. It was new, and it was I was like, okay, we might be able to afford this. I was like, man, for $500.
Yeah.
And I'd always heard it is cheaper to buy a house than it is to rent a house. Because before that, I was like, you don't think about when you're gonna buy a house, especially at 20 years old. You figure that's something you do when you get old, but actually no, at 20 something.
And I was 20, you were 21.
I said, you know what, I heard this. I said, let's look in the papers and let's start looking at what is the cost of buying a house. So that's what we did. We got a paper.
I remember him telling me, he was like, look, you're looking at these apartments, we can buy a house. And I'm like, we ain't gonna be able to afford to buy no house. Man, I was like, we only 20 something. I'm only making this much money a week or every 2 weeks. What make you think we can afford to buy a house? He was like, Duana, we can afford to buy a house. And I was like, okay, well, let's see. I remember going to go get the little paper.
Yeah, the thrifty nickel.
The thrifty nickel is where we found our first home.
And it was crazy because looking in there, it was like one of the first houses that you saw. I was like, oh, circle this one. I said, I'm interested in this one.
I think that's probably like the only one we circled and the only one we went to go look at.
Yeah.
That was the only house. We didn't look at any other house. It was like we knew that this house was put in front of us. I guess like God was like, look, you want a house? This is the house.
Yeah,
right
so we went like, soon as we seen it in the paper, we went and like looked around that house. Like we found it and drove around and looked around it that day, I think. And we were like,
okay. The neighborhood that we were on was really quiet. You wouldn't have thought anything was wrong. You had older people who stayed on the sides of both of our house, and then even across the street.
Yeah, new houses across
the street. So and then there was a high school at the top, newly built.
Had a community garden.
Yeah, we did have that.
Had a little rec area. So we were like, okay, this is nice. So we were like, well, I mean, how do we do this from here? Now, the only thing I had was at this point, I think I had my first credit card that I got when I first started school, which was like a year before it. And I would I've heard you want to have like a little bit of credit. So I always put something on it, pay it off, just put something on it, pay it off. And like I said, I just got hired at my other job. So I was able to get a credit card from them. But it's like my first week getting hired on, I was like, after we saw that one, I was like, well, I think I need a mortgage.
We looked at it and it was kind of like, I guess, a little fix-up or not really. Absolutely.
Had a new roof, had
it
a
had
new
a new
kitchen,
roof.
so it was good
The
to go.
kitchen, I'm not gonna say it was
I mean, not new.
new.
The bathroom was new.
The bathroom was new. I'm
Bathroom
gonna
was
say,
new.
hold on, baby, I'm.
Yeah, it was. It had a new roof and a new bathroom.
Yeah, and then so we pretty much and like I noticed that the carpet didn't smell the best. So the house was around $37,000, and pretty much the family just wanted to get rid of the house because the parents must have passed away or gotten old and passed away. So the house was just sitting there, no one was in it, and they were just trying to pretty much sell it. It was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, a nice sized backyard, and just a small front yard, but you had like an enclosed porch, which was my favorite.
Oh yeah, it was nice. Oh, my favorite was it had a pecan tree in the backyard.
When the squirrels didn't get to it.
We saw that house and we were like, well, now we got to figure out the process of buying it. Tell y'all a secret, all you 20-something-year-olds, it's not hard to buy your first house. It may seem complicated when all it is, hey, get in contact with a bank, let them know what you want, and they will walk you through the process. A lot of people think, you got to save up all this money too for your first house. You always hear about like the big down payment, but for your first house, you have like a first time home buyer's loan. So that's a lot different than a regular loan where you hardly have to put anything down. Some, like our state, has a program where they will give you money to buy your first house. You just got to take a class. If you think you can't buy a house, yes you can. And at 20-something years old, we end up like 2 weeks before I end up leaving, buying the house.
Yeah, so pretty much when we bought the house, since he was already going to be gone, I was like, okay, I made it my mission to go ahead and get everything set up, get the furniture, get everything that we needed, get that carpet out, and I had it pretty much ready. So when he came back that same day,
yeah, we moved out. I bought a Civic hatchback from my friend, and we moved all our possessions in that hatchback. Yeah,
we were out of there. And my mom, I think she was really, really sad. Even my sisters, they were like so sad. They were like, do you really gotta go? And I'm just like, Mom, I gotta spread my wings.
Yeah, we moved. We had to move far away, all the way like a mile away.
It wasn't far at all.
No, it was like a mile down the road. Maybe 2 miles.
It probably was 2 miles.
But
we were still in the same city and everything, so it wasn't a devastating move. But for our first house, it wasn't like a spectacular, like, oh my goodness, just like that. But it was our house. Well, to me, to you, it was probably everything. In that house, we redid the kitchen and we redid
the bathroom. We tiled the bathroom.
Did we tile the bathroom?
Yeah,
we did. Oh, we did. We
I had to take the window out and everything.
Oh yeah, he did. He redid the bathroom, redid the kitchen. If we have it as a rental now. Someone is actually in there. We had 2 tenants so far, and they've been the best tenant. One was my sister, and then one was his mom's friend, and the best tenants ever. I think I would probably want to redo the kitchen though now and make it brighter.
That is how we bought our first house at 20-something years old. So our first house, we bought it at 20-something. It wasn't very expensive.
No.
And now it's rented out, but is completely paid off.
We actually took longer than we should have to pay it off. I guess we were just like, oh, whatever. But
we'll probably talk about how we paid off our first house before we bought. We paid it off, before we bought this one, or like right around
the same time.
Yeah, we finished paying it off right when we bought this house.
We'll do another video, but after we move out of this house, so we have 2 homes right now, but after we move out of this house, this one will be for rent as well.
Yeah, and we'll hopefully look to get it paid off sooner than later. Yeah, so we'll tell you how we did it.
If you guys want to know how we did it, how we paid off the house, put it down in the comments. Also comment your age when you first purchased your own house, or when you moved out or realized, hey, I need to get out and get on my own.
Yeah, if you have any other questions about buying your first house, put it in the description box. We'll be happy to look into it and answer it for you.
Guys, I think that is it for now. We have to actually go and pick up our kids.
Yeah, but before we leave, don't y'all forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Instagram page has all of the latest pictures from all the activities we got going on right now. First house out.
Yeah.